Welcome to this episode of In the Mix here at the new legendary cutting room at 32nd and Park Avenue. I'm Gina Jordan, and coming up on this very special episode of In the Mix,
I was sort of bi-coastal or bi-continental.
it's movies you're gonna wanna watch and the celebs who star in them.
I've got high heels on and I've got my hair and makeup done, and that makes a difference, but I'm a girl's girl.
ITM goes one-on-one with Alice Eve, who boldly goes where few Oxford grads have gone before.
I was braless.
She said it.
There's no shame in that.
The blonde beauty goes from girly girl to indie icon in her latest film starring alongside Stanley Tucci.
There's a moment where Stanley paints my lips with the red lipstick.
And it's official, the Avengers fans can rejoice.
I got a call saying, yeah, well, you might not be 100% dead.
The Avengers star Clark Gregg is Hollywood's next leading man. We talk about his highly anticipated superhero TV series S.H.I.E.L.D. and the trials and tribulations of directing and starring in the critically acclaimed indie film Trust Me.
There definitely was someone sticking to my guns going, no, this is the one.
Plus, despite a highly publicized domestic violence incident that made international headlines, this young Hollywood couple, Emma Roberts and Evan Peters, still plan to hit the big screen together.
He's like my love interest.
That's all coming up right now. You are in the moment. You are in the mix. In the Mix with Chris Rock.
I'm Alec Baldwin. I'm here with the gorgeous Gina.
I'm Larry King, and you're watching In the Mix.
I'm Kelly Ripa, and you're watching In the Mix.
I'm Matt Lauer, and you're watching In the Mix.
I'm Kathy Lee. And I'm Hoda. And you're watching In the Mix.
I'm Bethany Frankel, and you're watching In the Mix.
In the mix.
Welcome to this episode of In the Mix. How's everybody doing today? Yeah. Now, something that we love to do here at In the Mix are sharing with you movies you're gonna wanna watch. Now, first up is a film called Some Velvet Morning, co-starring with Stanley Tucci, is Star Trek bombshell Alice Eve. Ah, the lovely actress Alice Eve, a bicontinental British beauty who hails from London and lives in LA. Born into an elite group of artists who have heterochromia, that's two different eye colors, the A-list who share the same trait include David Bowie, Dan Aykroyd, Kate Bosworth, Mila Kunis, Jane Seymour, Kiefer Sutherland, and Christopher Walken. You may recognize Miss Eve, whose left eye is blue and right eye is green, from her breakthrough role as Molly in She's Out of My League.
You know what? I don't even have a bathing suit.
Underwear is fine.
Underwear would be fine. If I were wearing any.
It may be her role as a pro-journalist turned Vince's love interest on HBO's hit TV series Entourage that made Eve mainstream. Alice will star in the upcoming Entourage movie, set to premiere next year.
I'm just a journalist you don't know who won't sleep with you. Do you think you can change that?
No,
If you do want to leave a good impression, next time you get a little overexcited during an interview, restrain yourself. Wait until you go out into the street and catch the eye of one of the 50 random women, which will help you achieve the same effect.
Yet it's Alice Eve's semi-scandalous role in Sex and the City 2 as Charlotte's Irish and braless nanny that catapulted Eve into blonde bombshell status.
Morning, ladies. I hear it was quite the glorious wedding.
Ah, 'twas.
Alice's latest project is a movie you're gonna want to watch this season. Entitled Some Velvet Morning, Eve takes a serious turn with this film's character, Velvet, living out a tumultuous relationship with a mysterious past alongside actor Stanley Tucci. Downtown Manhattan, and we are talking about the movies you're gonna want to watch this summer. And I am sitting here with a woman, ladies and gentlemen, she is way out of my league, actress Alice Eve. You are absolutely stunning.
Oh, that's very kind.
Did you wake up in the morning and your dog's like, I'm sorry, I have bad breath? Seriously?
I know.
Seriously.
I've got high heels on and I've got my hair and makeup done, and that makes a difference, but I'm a girl's girl.
Do you guys remember the scene in Sex and the City? I'm not going to say what it is in front of her. We'll embarrass her.
I was braless.
Yeah, she said it.
There's no shame in that.
Some Velvet Morning is a film that you're going to want to watch this summer. Stanley Tucci, I love him.
I
I've
love
had the
him.
opportunity to meet him a few times, and He really is that character in person. You know, he has a lot of rich character.
He really is a rich. He's very well off. No, he's a deep soul, Stanley, and he's a very, very funny man. He's sort of surprisingly funny, disarmingly funny, but he's also a brilliant companion and partner to go through a process like that with, and is interested in building an incredible sense of trust, which is the only way you can really dive down the rabbit hole like that.
Was this like diving down the rabbit hole
Yes,
for you?
it was just him and I, and we were saying very intense things to each other all day, every day, which Neil LaBute wrote, and we know how powerful and sometimes toxic Neil LaBute's dialogue can be.
Incredible. I love any of his work. I saw Fat Pig, which was absolutely incredible. It just resonates with you for a long time.
Yes, he goes right to the bottom and further still. He did this with us, and we had to do the same.
So give us a premise of why people should be interested in trying to find where they can see this film over the next few weeks.
I mean, mainly because Neil LaBute wrote and directed it, and he hasn't written and directed something as an auteur that he is since, you know, the early 2000s. He's been directing movies, other people's movies. He's obviously done his plays, but it's really Neil back to who Neil was when he kind of hit the scene, the festival circuit in the 90s. Also, it's an investigation into the spiraling of a love relationship, which is very real and raw.
Hence the rabbit hole.
The rabbit hole, yes.
Love and a rabbit hole that could just go very deep and dark.
Love sometimes
Have you ever had your
does.
heart broken?
Oh, yes.
Come on.
Oh, yes.
Who broke your heart? She's never had a heart.
17. I'd probably still not recover. I don't know if you ever recover from a broken heart.
I don't think you do.
No.
I don't think you do. What is the relationship between you and Stanley Tucci?
The truth of what the relationship is would be to give away the twist. But it's a sexual partners who are lovers and who end up wanting, as you sometimes do or read about doing, to kill each other because of the intensity of feeling there and the sort of damaged souls that these two people are. So they end up really destroying each other over the course of the film.
So not necessarily in love, connected, and at the same time, it's that love-hate.
Yes, it's an investigation.
How do the two characters meet?
Stanley turns up. We filmed it in a house in Park Slope, Brooklyn. A family very kindly left for 10 days while we made the movie. They visited, they were nice, very sweet. He just turns up at her door and knocks on her door, and she's just listening to our iPod. And she lets him in, and they proceed to have a back and forth that sustains for a long time.
Did you meet Stanley Tucci prior to taking on the project? Or
No, I met Stanley in rehearsal.
Oh.
Yeah. Although he's married to a girl I went to school with. He's married to Emily Blunt's sister, and I went to school with her.
Yeah, it's a small world. Hollywood is a very small world. I would imagine every project you take on, there's a moment that resonates with you, and maybe you dream about it and remember it. Is there one in this film that was a moment that just left an imprint on you? And
there's a moment where Stanley paints my lips with the red lipstick. It felt like a sort of intense moment in my life, and the image felt quite iconic. So that stuck with me.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah, it was really cool actually. Working with Stanley was really cool.
So Neil creating any relationship would be fascinating to watch on camera. So
yes,
I'm looking
because
forward
his
to
imagination knows no bounds.
And was it just the two of you in the majority of the scenes?
There's no one else in the movie.
No one else in the movie?
No.
So kind of like Closer.
A little bit.
Right?
It's quite similar to that actually.
Which I really appreciate that film because nobody ever actually was visually together on camera sexually, but yet you felt like you knew them
their
together.
Intimacy of their relationships. Yes. It was brilliantly written, and that was a play adapted for the screen. And of course, Neil's a playwright, and this could be a play, but it has had a life as a movie first. But it's similar to Closer. That's a good parallel.
Star Trek. Yeah, Star Trek. You have to okay. What does this mean exactly? My father
live
used to
long
watch...
and prosper.
Live long and prosper? What was it like to live long and to star on an incredible brand that has been around for 40 years?
It was wonderful, actually. It was just really special. I feel very lucky to have been part of it.
You played a doctor.
I did.
Lieutenant Carol Wallace, doctorate in applied physics, specializing in advanced weaponry.
Impressive credentials.
Thank you.
But redundant now that I'm back aboard the Enterprise.
And yet, the more the merrier. Have a seat, Doctor.
Thank
you so much for being here.
So nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Now, still to come, we have more movies you're gonna wanna watch, starring Emma Roberts, and from the Avengers, Clark Gregg. Don't move.
In the mix.
Just point.
With nowhere to
Just speak.
to turn.
Just share.
You saw me
As you naturally would.
and showed me
Just point.
how much I still
Just speak.
have to learn.
Just share.
And the odds
Smart. Inspired by you. LG Cinema 3D Smart TV.
This episode of In the Mix is presented by LG. Life's good.
In the mix.
Welcome back to this episode of In the Mix here at The Cutting Room. I'm Gina Jordan. Right now we are bringing you movies you're gonna wanna watch. Up next is a film called Trust Me, starring Avengers star Clark Gregg and new up-and-comer Saxon Charbino.
You like this? We started working on the prototype after you sent the destroyer. Even I don't know what it does. You want to find out?
Look out, America. There's a new leading man about to take over Hollywood.
It's an honor to meet you. Officially. I sort of met you. I mean, I watched you while you were sleeping.
Clark Gregg is best known for his character in The Avengers, which is about to live on in a brand new TV series, S.H.I.E.L.D., premiering on ABC this fall. The beloved star recently directed and starred in the indie film Trust Me.
Hey, is it true that you ran over Kayla Klopper's gerbil?
It's in her backpack. Who keeps a gerbil in a goddamn backpack?
Now, nobody puts baby in a corner.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
Clark's wife is actress Jennifer Grey, but it's Clark's time to shine.
Are we rolling?
I am sitting here with the cast of Trust Me, who shouldn't trust me at all to do this interview.
I'm Clark Gregg.
Shall you trust
And
me?
this is Gina Jordan.
And who is this beautiful woman
This
next
is
to
the
you?
fabulous Saxon Charbino.
What was it like to star in a film called Trust Me?
Because I was the director, and I had seen fit when casting this role of a loser, aging Hollywood loser agent for child actors, that I thought, well, I shouldn't have to go too far for that. I think I'll cast myself in the script that I wrote. It was kind of the megalomaniacal ego festival, but at the same time, it was so much of it was so kind of humiliating comedy that it all evened out in the end.
They want her at the studio tomorrow for a chemistry read with Sir Ben. Kingsley. Gandhi.
It's about a loser agent for child actors named Howard Holloway, the proprietor of the Howard Holloway Agency. He's the guy who everyone leaves when they start to make it, and he has a much more successful nemesis named Aldo Stankus, who they always leave him for, who has a big Hummer, played by Sam Rockwell.
Oh, I'm sorry. Rolf's a better bodyguard than a driver.
How you doing? Rolf, huh? What happened to Trent? You guys broke up?
Don't be ridiculous, Howard. I'm a happily married man.
Yeah, so was Mr. Brady.
How'd you get Sam Rockwell to star?
Sam Rockwell was the lead in my first film, Choke. He and I had done a play together in New York years ago. He's a great guy and my favorite actor. And, you know, when I decided to cast myself in the lead, I had to surround myself with people who made the whole prospect a little more attractive to financiers. And Sam showed up, and he came on as the executive producer, and he nearly steals the movie, if not actually achieving that. I got something you might remember. Whoa, what's that? That's your game thing.
Yeah, your mom told me about your game thing. That's a bummer. So you know what? I got the new Nintari Ultra Super Pad. Won't even be in stores for another month.
Whoa, this is freaking awesome!
Hey, freaking awesome is right. You ever been in a Hummer?
How did you get involved with this incredible man? I mean, he really can do it all.
Thank you, thank you. So what she said was, how did you get involved with this incredible man?
I auditioned a few times, and then we had a couple work sessions where we basically ran through the whole script. And then, yeah, he called me and he's like, you got it. And I'm like, okay.
What was it like to work alongside him?
What was it like to work alongside this magnificent man?
It was really interesting because he was like the director and the writer and the actor. So like he would go see the takes after we shot something, and I got to be more involved and see the takes, and he really helped me understand everything. I think I was nervous about being funny because I'm not that funny.
Oh, you're funny.
Not
Not on purpose?
Not on purpose.
No, you are.
I was nervous about being funny, and I guess I was nervous about working with all these adult huge actors, you know,
And I was there too.
And you.
Does he emulate a real jerk, like one of those real kind of...
Is Howard a jerk?
No, Howard's
Sometimes.
not a... No, he's really like nice. Like he like looks out for Lydia and stuff. Like he's not a jerk.
So it's about this guy who always loses everybody, and then when it seems like things couldn't get any worse, he stumbles on this young girl, played by the fabulous Saxon Paige Charbonneau, who just got off the bus and is, as Ang Lee says, a young Jodie Foster. And I say, Jodie? And she says, yes. And then it's all about kind of, she's on the cusp of the deal of a lifetime, and it's all about, you know, the pressure cooker that gets going when there's big zeros and big breaks on the line, and kind of nobody's what they seem anymore. I'm excited about it. I feel positive. I feel like this is the story I wanted to tell. I'm amazed by the performances around me. My job was just to try to keep up with the people acting with me.
You ever done this before? Because it sure don't look like it.
Let's start.
I'm talking business now, baby. Keep quiet.
Why, because you're Trump all of a sudden? He started a topless car wash with my money. Yeah, how much did we lose on that one, Dad?
I said shut up.
You shut up.
You shut up. Thank you.
There's things about this movie that are unusual and really threw people, especially in the script. And a lot of people said, we'll finance this if you change this, you do this, you cast this person instead of you. And there definitely was some sticking to my guns, going, no, this is the one. And if it takes an extra year, I'm willing to do it.
What is it about the filmmaking process that you love the most? And it is a process, and it can be a grueling process. But what is it that keeps you going back and obviously wanting to direct and participate?
Yes, I think we can call it a process. You get to be so many different parts of it. Usually, you know, in a big movie like The Avengers, I come in, I do a couple of scenes, I leave for a week, I come back, and I feel like you're kind of like a song in somebody else's mixtape. I mean, I'm aging myself by even calling it a tape. But there's a level of authorship that I miss out on.
The Avengers.
Yes.
You're a beloved character.
I
want you to just live on and on. Give us a spoiler.
If you haven't seen The Avengers, I will tell you, it doesn't go so well for Agent Coulson. What I can tell you is that it was an amazing ride. It was a little part in Iron Man that they expanded and then added to a bunch of movies, and it culminated in this incredible, some of the great scenes anyone ever got to do in one of those movies, courtesy of Joss Whedon. And I was really emotional when I had to say goodbye to that guy because I love playing him. And then I got a call saying, yeah, well, you know, you might not be 100% dead. We recently finished shooting a pilot for a show called Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Soon, Agent Coulson will live, and he'll live on your television screen.
I'm clearance level 6. I know that Agent Coulson was killed in action before the Battle of New York. Welcome to level 7.
I think you have a lot of fans when it comes to the Avenger saga.
You know, I grew up reading comics. I'm into the whole kind of fanboy thing. I love sci-fi, I love comics. I'd been to Comic-Con before any of this, and so when Agent Coulson kind of became like an avatar for those people, and I kind of started to see the Coulson Lives t-shirts at Comic-Con, it was kind of almost too good to be true. I almost couldn't handle it.
You're very gracious.
Thank you.
Really are.
It's fun talking to you, Jean.
No, it's a pleasure to meet you, and I'm looking forward to seeing this performance.
You ever been in a Hummer?
That just flipped me off. Did you just flip me off? Did you? Because that is not okay, pal. Hey, right here, back at you. Yeah!
Still to come, we've got an indie film for you called Adult World, starring Emma Roberts. Don't move.
In the mix.
Just point.
With nowhere to look.
Just move.
To turn.
Just share.
You saw me
as you naturally would.
And showed me
just point.
Much I still
just move.
Have to learn.
Just share. Smart. Inspired by you. LG Cinema 3D Smart TV.
This episode of In the Mix is presented by LG. Life's good.
In the mix.
Welcome back to this episode of In the Mix here at the legendary Cutting Room. I'm Gina Jordan. We are bringing you movies you're gonna wanna watch. Up next is a film called Adult World, starring John Cusack, Evan Peters, and actress Emma Roberts.
Can you tell when a girl looks at you and is thinking how much she likes you and wondering if you like her, but thinking how important it is for you to say how you feel before she says anything more about how she feels about you or anyone else that you might be jealous of because she's already saying how she feels in her own way?
Can you repeat the question?
Dad is actor Eric Roberts. Auntie is the mega movie star Julia.
I used to have this appetite for my life, and it is just gone.
It may have been her famous last name that launched her acting career in Hollywood, but it's those acting chops that keep fans wanting more.
Alex and I were supposed to
have sex today.
From films like Nancy Drew, Celeste and Jesse Forever,
We all know from like breaking up with people is awkward and weird and sad.
to hosting star-studded charity events that benefit the Ovarian Cancer Research Fund, the annual Super Saturday shopping event in the Hamptons.
I got asked to co-host and I just thought it sounded like such a fun event for such a great cause.
ITM has watched Roberts evolve into her very own style on the big screen, especially in her latest film, Adult World, where the young starlet gets a chance to act alongside John Cusack and her real-life boyfriend, Evan Peters, who she met and fell in love with on the set of Adult World. Despite a recent highly publicized domestic violence incident, this young Hollywood couple are still going strong. I am sitting here with the one and only Emma Roberts.
Thank you.
We're talking about your new film, Adult World, co-starring alongside John Cusack.
Yeah.
And what was it like to work alongside John? He's been in the industry for years.
Yeah, it was awesome. I've been a fan of him forever, like since he was, my age working, and he's such a cool guy, and he's just so funny. Like he always has hilarious stories to tell and like funny facts to tell you, and a lot of the work we did together was ad-libbing, so a lot of my reactions you see in the movie are actually my real reaction, which is like laughing or in shock or not knowing what to say. So that was fun to get to ad-lib a lot with each other. But yeah,
The clip that's out there right now that we saw is you sort of being that stalking kind of fan and adoration of someone that you idolize.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Mr. Billings. Hi. I am an enormous fan, like crazy big fan of yours.
Thank you.
So nice to meet you.
We met inside.
I play Amy, and she's just getting out of college. She thinks she's destined to be this great, amazing poet, and she's obsessed with John Cusack's character Rat, who's this famous kind of fallen poet. And so she basically like stalks him because she wants to be his protege, and she is just so oblivious to the world around her that she might not be great, that she is wrapped up in wanting to be so famous and so successful, and she thinks he's her ticket. So she kind of stalks him and becomes obsessed, and he's just like thinks it's the funniest thing in the world because this girl's so delusional.
What was going on in that scene exactly?
Yeah, that scene, I basically I had seen him in my neighborhood, so I follow him to his house, and I'm just like, I don't
follow him to his house.
Yeah, and I don't think it's weird at all.
You're giving people bad ideas.
Yeah, right.
That is not a good idea.
I basically play like the psycho fan, but she's like endearing in a way because she's so genuine in like her obsession with him.
It wasn't like a scary
type
of violent. We just want to make that clear. It wasn't.
No, she brings like a fruit basket. It was totally harmless.
Unless it was poison, but
no, it was not poison.
Like they always say, people, has a fan ever given you food? No, never. Because you would never eat it if somebody
probably eat it.
You would seriously?
I don't know.
Afraid to eat it.
Well, now I'm not going to. But
good. Well, we just saved Emma's life. Okay.
I almost ate a donut hole downstairs. Now I guess I'm not going to go back for that.
You stalk him at his home. You meet him, and that's where that scene then takes place.
Yeah, and basically then they just kind of end up having this funny, quirky friendship. It's kind of a coming-of-age story, but told a different way, told kind of the real way, which is like things don't always work out.
Right.
So I really like that about the movie, that it kind of shows you that
it's an independent coming-of-age story, so to speak. It's not your typical Hollywood ending.
Totally, and it just has the kind of real Hollywood ending that
Well, tell us about, you also have your other co-star on the film.
Evan Peters. He plays like my love interest.
What is the relationship? You guys actually have a love relationship in that film.
Yeah, he works in the porn shop that I get a job in because that's the only job I can get, and I think that'll give me inspiration for my poetry. And it's just kind of ironic because my character's a little bit prude and inexperienced, yet she wants to kind of write these poems about experience and life, and meanwhile she's like,
what is she drawing from?
She's like a virgin who doesn't have a job, and she's like wants to write about being a woman and all this stuff. So she meets him in the store and she really likes him, but she's a little bit too self-involved with her poetry to kind of realize until the end.
So she never has a love interest in John Cusack's character, right?
No, there's one scene where she tries, but then it's like they're not attracted to each other.
It's not that kind of a connection.
No, it's more of like a friendship connection, and like kind of they both kind of help each other in certain ways and move on from each other.
What was it like to work alongside someone who obviously you're extremely connected to when you're not in front of the camera? What was it like to work with Evan?
It was great. The whole cast was so great, and he was so great. We had so much fun together. It was a very like joking, fun set, and yeah, it went by fast. I mean, we only had like 20-something days to shoot the whole movie.
I always find that amazing how they're able to shoot a film in 27 days.
It's crazy. Yeah. And there's also like some hours of footage. Syracuse.
Okay.
Yeah, which was freezing. Like you
we could tell from your nose.
Yeah, they decided to keep my nose red the whole time on purpose.
Are you serious?
Because they were like, it's cute, but literally I was like freezing the whole time.
Are you proud of the film?
Yeah, I'm very proud of it. I worked really hard on it and had such a good time, and yeah, it was a tough shoot for sure, but I think everything like helped with the movie and with the character. Like I was like deathly ill part of shooting, had like the worst like kind of like tonsil thing, and so but there was one day where we had to shoot and like I couldn't speak, so I had to literally go to the hospital and like get a shot and go back to set, but it like worked well in the scene because I was supposed to be upset, so you can see me just like bewildered like in the scene.
Roberts has a lot going on these days, including a role as a homeless teen in the upcoming film We're the Millers, starring alongside Jennifer Aniston and Jason Sudeikis.
Kenny, meet your new sister.
I've always wanted a sister.
Get it off of me.
Peters is set to play the beloved comic hero Quicksilver in the next X-Men installment, X-Men Days of Future Past.
One of the many spectacular things my mutation allows me to do is that I can read your mind.
Adult World won't be the last place you'll see this real-life couple acting alongside each other on the big screen. When these lovebirds aren't spending time with their new puppy, Audrey Hepburn, you can catch Roberts and Peters acting together on Season 3 of American Horror Story on FX. We just sat down with Emma Roberts, and now we are here with Evan Peters, who's starring in Adult World with Emma Roberts and John Cusack, a film that you're going to want to go watch this summer.
I can't believe we're bantering like this. This is so cool.
Life is surreal, kid.
Are you someone that enjoys doing film promotion? Are you one of those people?
Honest to God, I've never really done it. This is kind of my first.
You're a virgin.
I'm a virgin.
Let's talk a little bit about Adult World. What was it like to star alongside Emma Roberts and John Cusack? What a fantastic cast.
Yeah, it was great. It was really good. Emma's really nice.
You kind of like Emma. She's not.
I really like
Emma.
Emma.
Yeah. Is it challenging when you're when you're actually in a relationship with someone to then go through this process and act alongside on the big screen? Is that a challenging process?
No, I don't think so at all. It makes it easier, I think.
When it comes to starring alongside a cast like this and John Cusack, somebody who I'm sure you knew as a child, what was it like to work with John?
It was pretty cool.
Did you have a lot of scenes with John?
I didn't have very many scenes with John, but when I did, I thought it was really cool.
Tell us a little bit about your character.
He works in a porn shop. Emma's character Amy comes into the shop and wants a job, so I tell her how things operate and show her the ropes.
And it's sort of a coming of age story.
Yeah, coming of age, like trying to figure out what you want to do with your life, and if you're not good at it, maybe giving up and going a different route, which is okay to do that. So it's got a good message.
You were working in Syracuse and it was freezing cold. Emma told us it was freezing on set, so.
Yeah.
And they purposely made her nose look red, but she always looks cute. And then with the red nose, it's
her
even
nose
more
is always red when she's cold. It's just the thing that happens.
Aww.
It's really cute.
Aww. Why is it that the people, your fans, that love Emma and love John Cusack and love you, what is it about this film that they should go and see? What would you say is
I just think it has a good message. It's also hilarious. I mean, along the way they tell you, just be yourself and do you, but then along the way it's hilarious. And there's a cross-dresser, so.
American Horror Story. Tell us about how you got involved with that project.
I auditioned for it and luckily got, and it's been working on it ever since. The season, we're on season 3 now, so that's kind of cool.
You're doing it wrong. If you're trying to kill yourself, cut vertically. They can't stitch that up.
How'd you get in here?
If you're trying to kill yourself, you might also try locking the door.
It's a scary show. And every season is different, so I can't really tell you what.
You can't give me any spoilers?
I don't even know. They don't even tell us.
Really? Oh, yeah. That's interesting. I didn't know that. You look at a script day of, and how would that work?
A couple of days before.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
How does that work for you as an actor? So you literally have to just memorize a ton of lines before you...
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. Was it that painful?
I think it'll be okay. I'm having a great time.
Now you know what movies you're going to want to watch. Thanks so much for watching. We will see you in the next. Woo!